Yeah. Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mar. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep. Go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Time to raise the bar. Hey, man. Your man, Wildcard Mar, back in the building. New week, new sports to talk about. Before we get started, I know about 28 minutes left on my time, Central Time, 28 minutes left in the day. Happy Veterans Day. To all the veterans out there, hey, man, salute you. For real talk. Salute to the vets. Hey, man, can't thank y'all enough. Y'all do the sacrifice that y'all gave. So I definitely want to salute the vets. I got plenty of friends that have served in the armed forces. I got plenty of cousins, uncles, aunties, close friends, close family members that have served in the armed forces. So I would definitely be, it would be a borderline disrespectful if I didn't shout out the veterans on Vets Day. So shout out to the vets, every last one of y'all, past and present, living or unfortunately have passed away. So hey, thank you for the sacrifice. For sure. Always got to do that. Hey man, new week. I know I missed a couple of nights last week. Obviously Tuesday. I took the night off for political reasons. It was the election day. A lot of people was focused on that, and that's okay. Last minute, I was going to do a show, but last minute I was like, you know what? It's election day. It is what it is. Let the world focus on that. So I didn't want to take away from that. And then Wednesday, I took a mental day. I was absolutely exhausted. My body, have you ever been in a situation where your body just shuts down? And not as in like, shut down like you, pass away or anything like that or fall out. It's just your body tells you like, hey, I'm tired, mentally, physically, just sit down. And I hit a wall. All right. I do a lot of projects, not just podcast wise, but obviously, I got to make the money until this makes the money. So that's why I need y'all to, like, share, subscribe, support your boy, because so I can do this full time. But got to go out there, get the money, hustle, work. I also, I at least got to be a somewhat of a husband. My wife would feel some type of way if I was failing on that need, and then of course my daughters would feel some type of way if I was failing them. So I got 3 daughters. So I'm juggling a lot of life, metaphor balls and pause and I'm, spinning a lot of plates. So, yeah, I took a mental day on Wednesday, let my body just rest. So, hey, it's okay. But I'm back here this week. I'm gonna be here all 3 nights. Believe that, because there's no election, and I'm feeling quite energized. So I got the energy today. As you see, we'll definitely recap Week 10 of the NFL. We'll recap Monday Night Football between the Dolphins and the Rams, and then. But I want to start right here. And I just want to propose a question. Is it time for the Philadelphia 76ers to move on from Joel Embiid? Is it time for the 76ers to move on from Joel Embiid? Me personally, I'm asking this question is because I'm seeing a lot of things leading up to this NBA season. And I'm just, you know what? I had an epiphany. All right. I had an epiphany. And sometimes, my takes work. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'm spot on. Sometimes I'm way off. And that's just the life of when you create content, a lot of content, and you got personal opinions. All these are our hypotheses. They're educated guess. And yes, I say educated guess is because, I'm just looking at the evidence that is presented. I'm looking at, also I'm just thinking like a common sense person. I should have been a psych major because for some reason the behavior of individuals intrigues me. I've always been a people watcher. I've been very observant. Sometimes I'm a good reader of people, and so I say all that to say this. Here's some things that are starting to, for me, that are starting to show the end of a relationship. All right. I mean, we've all been in relationships, right? You meet someone, first you play the courting game, maybe go out on a couple of dates, go to the movies, grab a bite to eat, get to know each other, sparks is flying, do a little hanky-panky, and you've been with somebody for a minute, and one person says, hey, I want more. And another person says, well, I like the way things are right now. And next thing you know, you separate because one person has feel that they have reached the max of that relationship. And therefore, it's time to move on. I feel like 76ers and Joel Embiid are at that point in their time, in their relationship, where one person feels, in my opinion, the 76ers have done any and everything for Joel Embiid. And I kind of feel like the 76ers should start thinking about moving him because it's like we've done all we can. I just think that they're at that point. Case in point. So here are some of the things that helped led me to this hypothesis. All right. Remember the trusted process, right? They was always getting number 1 overall pick. They drafted Joel Embiid, number 1 overall pick, right? Y'all do remember Joel Embiid pretty much practically missed his first 2 years of his career due to injuries. And I say that to say this because that's just the beginning of the relationship between him and the 76ers. So the 76ers were patient. Hey, you're hurt. We still took you high in the draft. We still going to stand by you because we believe in the potential of you, Joel Embiid. All right. So the 76ers stuck behind him. All right. Then, they go out and acquire people. It's been James Harden, Tyrese Maxey. Now, Ben Simmons was part of that trust the process, right? Y'all remember that? It's been every year the 76ers have always been linked to making a trade or certain things like that to help improve the roster. Brought in Jimmy Butler. Who else has been in Philly that, at one point in time, what was his name? I can't remember the name. It slipped my mind, but he was a defensive guy and damn it. I can't remember his name. He was a role player, wasn't nothing crazy. Brought in Tobias Harris, brought in now Paul George. All right. So Philly, the management team, and they've gone through a couple of GMs, they've gone through a couple of coaches during Joel Embiid's tenure with the relationship with the franchise. All right. So he's seen coaches, GMs, different types of roster players on the roster. And all this is going on within the last 8 to 9, 10 years that Joel's been there with Philly. And you just kind of look at it. I'm looking at this situation. I'm like, man, they've done any and everything with Joel Embiid to get him to championship level. He gets the MVP the 1 year. I mean, coach after coach, player after player, and they keep doing as much as they can to get Joel Embiid to that next level of being a champion, not just the MVP, but a champion. Bring a championship to Philly. Let the 76ers celebrate it. They haven't been back to the finals since 2001. They haven't won a championship since the late 80s. All right? In the midst of the Celtics and Lakers dynasties. So 76ers in that city of Philadelphia is starving for a championship. All right? Here's my next piece of evidence that I formulated to help come up with this hypothesis on why I think Philly should move on from Joel Embiid. Let's take a listen.
Well, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. You are a competitor. How difficult is this for you to sit out these early games?
Extremely difficult. I think everybody that knows me knows that. Okay, I would love to be out there every single game. It's just unfortunate that some of them are not as lucky as others to be part of every single game. I wish that wasn't the case, but it's not for the lack of trying. It's tough. Like I said, mentally, you can't play, but still trying to get yourself mentally right to push. But like I said, everything is trending the right way.
And when was it decided between the Olympics and today that you would be taking this approach and missing these games to start the season?
It was never decided. Like I said, everybody has been on the same page. If your body doesn't react well, and if your body tells you one thing, and I've done it. From what I can tell you, I've broken my face twice. I came back early with the risk of losing my vision. Had broken fingers. I still came back. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, when I see people saying doesn't want to play. I've been way too much. I've done way too much, for this city, and putting myself at risk, for people to be saying that. So I do think it's bullshit. like that dude. He's not here. Marcus, whatever his name is. I've done way too much for this fucking city to be treated like this. So, done way too fucking much. But like I said, I wish I was as lucky as other ones, but that doesn't mean that I'm not trying and, I'm not, doing whatever it takes to be out there, which I'm going to be.
So that was Embiid in press conference a couple of weeks ago. And the reason why I played that, because now you have Philly, the franchise that has done any and everything with Embiid, try to get coaches, try to get GMs, players to get to championship level, right? Now, just hearing what Embiid saying, and he was responding to a reporter, of course. He was responding as in like, people saying that I'm not trying to play and I'm not trying to do this, because he came out and said, I won't be playing back to backs. I want to preserve my body. It's like he's at his wit's end. He feels like he's sacrificed. So we're at that point in relationship with Joel Embiid and Philly where Philly's saying, man, we done all we can with Joel Embiid, dealt with the injuries, give him the coaches, give him the players, give him the GMs. Now you got Joel Embiid saying, hey, man, I'm sacrificing too. I didn't, play with my body hurt. I didn't sacrifice vision. Other injuries didn't play through. And I'm doing all I can to be here for the team. So I think we're at that point in the relationship where it's more like not a competition, but it's more like, hey, I've done this. Well, I've done that. Well, I did this too, and I did this. So you're kind of at that point where it's like you got the two sides of the relationship are just putting it all out there and saying everything that needs to be said right now. All right, so I feel like we're starting to get to that tipping point of the end. And furthermore, if he's saying, hey, I won't be doing back-to-backs. I want to preserve my body. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Embiid is 30. And I get it. You want to preserve your body. You want to be around. But my thing is if you're at that point where you want to preserve your body, well, why exactly should I just accommodate to what you want? If I'm the franchise, that should be a sign to them saying, hey, is his body, is he going to hold up any much longer? Again, he's 30 years old, y'all. If I'm the franchise, I'm like, when I hear things like that, I'm like, well, if you 30 and you want to preserve your body, you still getting injuries damn near every year. And yes, there are times that he does play through injuries. But let's be honest, we're talking about a 30-year-old. He's not late 30s. If I'm a GM and I hear that, I'm behind the scenes working something. Hey, man, if I would call the team and say, if I were to give you Joel Embiid, what would the compensation be? That's all. If I was a GM, if I was Daryl Morey, I'd be like, if I was to give you Joel Embiid, just test the waters on what your compensation would be like. Because when you hear things like that, my body this, my body that, and we got a long history of injuries with Joel Embiid, and let's be honest, he's still top 15 players in the league right now. I would at least consider a trade. See what compensation you would get back from Joel Embiid. I would. It'd be the best time to do it now while he's 30. And let somebody else deal with the injuries. Let somebody else deal with the, quote unquote, I won't be playing back-to-backs because I want to preserve my body. Let somebody else deal with that. I think that's business. If Bill Belichick was there, hey, trust and believe, Bill Belichick would have already packaged him up. Because here's the deal. I also feel like between Philadelphia, the 76ers, the franchise, and Joel Embiid, the relationship that they got, I think they've both sacrificed enough, done enough together that, hey, man, I don't think y'all are a championship team. I don't think y'all will make the championship. I don't think y'all will ever win a championship with Joel Embiid. Fact of the matter is, I feel like you guys have hit the ceiling. I think you guys are maxed out. You've gone as far as you've gone. You've had some playoff appearances. You come close to the Eastern Conference Finals. But after that, I think you guys have gone as far as you can in this relationship. Because right now, you're not built for a championship team. You bring in Paul George, another guy that's often injured. He didn't start the season. He's played a couple of games since, but you paired him with another player like Joel Embiid, who's been known to miss some time due to injuries. That leaves you with Tyrese Maxey, your third option. I like Maxey. But we saw what happened when Embiid went down last year. He tried his best to hold the team together. It didn't happen. They ended up getting Buddy Hield. He kind of helped alleviate some of the pain, but he wasn't enough. Now, fast forward to this year, Tyrese Maxey has already got a hamstring issue. He's going to miss a few weeks. Now, you just got Paul George and crew. That's what you got. Paul George and crew. Is this a championship team? No. Is it championship caliber? No. I would entertain a trade. I would entertain it. If somebody called me or I called them, it don't matter. Hey, man. What would you give me if I gave you Joel Embiid? Just curious. All right. So that's just some of the things that I'm putting together as in saying like, hey man, like this relationship looks like it's coming to an end. And back to the reporter that Joel Embiid was referring to was the same reporter that he got into the shoving match with. Got suspended for it. And then what was reported is that the some of the office people in the 76ers franchise said, hey, man, Joel shouldn't have done that. The behavior was unacceptable and this and that. If I'm Joel Embiid, I'm like, damn. Even if I'm wrong, you taking his side? You taking the reporter's side? The guy that just sits here and reports on the team, but I'm part of the team? I bring in revenue for y'all, and this is how you this is how y'all do me? I'm pretty sure there was a point in time that probably if Joel heard that, he probably felt some type of way. I'm just telling y'all, look, this is just a guess, but I'm seeing things that remind me of relationships I've been in where you feel like you're plateaued and somebody is not getting their needs met. And then another person feel like they ain't getting their needs met. And now simple conversations turn into arguments. Arguments turn into week-long fights where we ain't talking to each other. And then at some point in time, you just like, the love just ain't there no more. And the fact that Joel Embiid got suspended for that incident, and it was reported that the higher-ups in the front office took the reporter's side and said that was unacceptable behavior. I'm starting to see some breakdown between this relationship of Embiid and the Sixers. It looks like it's on the outs. That's what it looks like to me. Because I didn't have many relationships in like this. Well, one person feel like they done enough. The other person feel like they done enough. Y'all felt like y'all both sacrificed. Y'all both gave. Y'all both did this. You both did that. Well, when you got to start going tit for tat of what you did and what you done and what you sacrificed, somebody got to go. We got to end this. Otherwise, it's going to end up bad. If I'm the GM of the 76ers, I would start the process of trading Joel Embiid. I'm just seeing certain things. It's just adding up to a bad breakup. And before it gets ugly, move him. Move him. Before he gets hurt again, move him. He's still 30. Somebody out there would still take Joel Embiid as their franchise player at 30 years old, still knowing the injury history of him. You can't say that they won't. The Lakers took AD, knowing his injury history. Huh? He's still a top 15 player in the league right now. Just won an MVP a couple of years ago. So when he's on your court, he's a baller. He's going to put asses in seats. He may not necessarily win you a championship because in Philly, it just ain't happening. And they tried. Between adding players, coaches, GMs. Joel Embiid's tried. He's tried. He's played through some injuries during some playoff times. I feel like this franchise and player relationship has just plateaued. It's hit its peak. Because now I'm seeing little nuggets of things that's saying, hey man, this relationship is getting worse than it is better. And more times than not, when you are in a bad relationship, it's better to leave knowing that it may not get better. Because this situation right here may not get better. You're damn sure not a championship team. You're damn sure not a team that's going to compete for it. Hell, they're not even an Eastern Conference champion caliber team. There are other teams in the East that I just think are just far better. They're put together better. They play better. More continuity. More chemistry. Just better overall team right now in the 76ers. Right now, they're 2-7. 2-7. Joel Embiid still hasn't played yet. We barely seen enough Paul George, and they're already out with Tyrese Maxey for almost a month. For me personally, I will move on. I would definitely be talking to my other GM buddies around the league. Hey, man, what would you give me if I gave you Joel Embiid? Just saying. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all jump in the comments. I'll let you boy. What? Am I crazy? Or am I on to something? Just saying. Monday Night Football action. Yes. Man. Ooh, a little bit of a snoozer. Well, first half for the most part. I will say this. Miami came out strong, came out hot. Drove straight down the field, first possession. But then had a couple of hiccups with a Rams defense, which surprisingly to me, that Rams defense is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be because you can't replace Aaron Donald. But I love what Jared Verse is doing as a rook. They're phenomenal. They got a solid defense on that Rams side of the football. So after that first initial run, wanting too much, wanting too much dominating, wanting too much of that Rams explosive offense. Because to be honest, if you look at the stats right now, and you definitely saw it on the screen watching the game, I mean, that was not the same explosive, same explosive Dolphins offense that we've seen in the past. Only 238 yards. That's it. 67 rushing yards, and 171 passing yards from Tua. So Rams did their thing on defense. They did their thing. Wasn't really overly impressed with Tua. I don't know what it is. Still trying to get in the groove of things, but I'm noticing the last few games that he's had since he's been back from the concussion, it's almost as if he's second guessing himself on certain things. But I will say this: Tua, learn how to stay out the way. Through that bad interception in this game, went to go tackle the defender, and the first thing he did was put his head down. Come on, Tua. Hey, we got to do better than this. Don't go low. Don't put your head down. Matter of fact, look, I understand you're the quarterback. You throw the interception. You want to make sure that the guy don't take it back for a house call. I understand that. The only problem is with your concussion history, you will be a faded memory, and all they can do is make house calls because you'll be stuck at home. I mean, it's crazy to me that he stuck his head down, knowing you got concussion issues. You got concussion issues. I don't know what you were doing. But there were some sparks of that same old offense with Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, as if they were, back. But they really didn't have a lot of damage. Like I said, overall, Tua was through for 207, TD and an interception, got sacked 3 times. Look, his QBR, quarterback ranking, 33.2, not high at all. Come on. Tua did not. He did not look. He looked rusty. I'm being polite. I had another word. And I was gonna let me chill. But Tua's been okay. All right. They didn't get enough from the running game. Not at all. 22 carries between between 6 players, including Tua, for only 67 yards. No balance. So you pretty much threw the game on your defense and Tua. Now I get it. Tua was 20 of 28. Not too shabby. But this was a game that I think that the Dolphins needed that victory more, because I think you got a lot of questions. What are the Dolphins? You've seen two sides. Without Tua, they weren't that great. With Tua, got to work out some kinks, get them back into the flow of things. But I was surprised that they won tonight. They went up against a good Rams team that's been rolling. And like I said, the defense has been playing better, a lot better. But the Rams have been rolling, and they put themselves in contention of being the NFC West champs. They surely did. But they fought a 4-5. Matthew Stafford was running for his life his whole game. Only sacked 4 times. But he was under pressure all game. Under pressure. And that's why I give Miami credit, because that's been kind of one of their Achilles heels this season, is lack of pressure. And some of that's due to injuries. Losing Phillips to the year. They lost Bradley Chubb. So there are some injury issues that they're dealing with that's kind of made a difference in the ineptness of their pass rush. But Rams, they ran the ball better. Most they could have stuck with it. 15 carries, 62 yards. Kyren Williams is averaging pretty much 4 yards a carry. If you do the math, you give him 3 straight carries, he'll get you a first down. I don't know why they didn't stick with it. Puka Nacua was 2 yards short of 100, and Cooper Kupp was 20 yards short of 100. So not too shabby on the passing tip. The only problem is you look at the Rams and why they lost this game. The reason why they lost that game is because they were trading in TDs for field goals. 0 for 3 in the red zone. 0 for 3. 0 for 3 in the red zone is not good. You can't make that many trips to the red zone, which should be touchdown. So that's 21 points right there that you should have had. And you all flip. You turn in 6 for 3, possibly 7 for 3 if you make the extra point. So you know, do the math. All you analytic nerds, do the math. Yes, they kicked number field goals tonight. But some of that goes to the credit of that Dolphins defense. They played a lot better than they've been playing a lot better over the last few weeks. Gave Buffalo a fit last week. Did great work on defense against the Rams tonight. So hats off to that Dolphins defense as well. Come on, Rams. That's your biggest pet peeve tonight. That should be your biggest pet peeve. You're going to look at that film, and there was a couple of throws that I think Stafford missed. He missed Kyron Williams on that real route that could have easily been a touchdown. He missed that one, but can't go 0 for 3 in the red zone. Just can't do it. Not in the NFL. You got to get points. Got to get points. But overall, I thought it was a solid game. Still got some kinks on that Dolphins offense you got to figure out because I'm noticing when they go up against better defenses and with Tua being back now, there's still some rust to knock off. There's definitely still some rust. But let's look at the Rams remaining schedule. Right now is they're 4-5. They got Patriots, Eagles, Saints, Bills, 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks. So a good fair amount of divisional games. Jets, Bills, Saints, Patriots. Tough stretch down. Tough stretch. I think that's a real tough stretch. Yeah, I think that's a real tough stretch. Matter of fact, they got the 49ers twice, if I'm correct, because they have them this – is it this Thursday? No. I'm tripping. Don't worry about me. But, yeah, the Rams schedule is going to get more tough down the stretch. They got some tough guys on that rest of that schedule. Let's look at the Dolphins. They got the Raiders up next. Come on. Handle business. Got the Patriots. That'll be a toss-up game. Packers. I would definitely favor the Packers in that game. Jets. You can win that. That's winnable. Texans. If you bring that pressure tonight like you did on Stafford and you get that on CJ Stroud, you might mess around and get an upset. You got 49ers, Browns, Jets. So looking at their rest of their schedule, they got a more manageable schedule than I think that the Rams do. The only issue is you won't catch the Bills. Because you're already almost about 5 games back. You won't catch the Bills. Well, looking at that wild card, you're at the 10th seed right now. You're 3-6. The Broncos are 5-5. That's that last wild card spot. You're not too far off. So, if you're asking me, this was a more must-win game for the Dolphins, and they took care of business tonight. It wasn't the prettiest, wasn't glamorous, wasn't flashy. They tried to implement their game. They just couldn't get going. They faced a good Rams defense. They did. But the Dolphins, you got a chance to at least make a push for a playoff wild card seed. Looking at the rest of that remaining schedule is some of your stiffer competition. If you play if the defense plays like they are tonight, and I know that the offense they'll start working out some of that rust. I mean, you're still trying to, hey, we're back with Tua. At some point we got to get back to what we were doing. They'll start getting it. They'll start clicking. Because if there's one thing that I'm not worried about with the Dolphins, is their offense. It just is predicated on Tua's health, which I thought he put himself in danger tonight trying to make that tackle off the interception. But no, that's probably the only concern I got with them. That defense got to continue to show up like they did tonight. That's what they got to do, for sure. They have to. So, yeah, that was Monday Night Football game. Ended up turning into a more defensive game than anything, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all. So yeah, man, that's just what it is. Let's run down week 10. Recap it real quick. Obviously, it started on Thursday with the Ravens and the Bengals. Ever since they both entered the league and they face each other, Lamar Jackson's been on the more winning side than Joe Burrow has when they meet up. Yeah, Bengals got some work to do. If they really think they're going to, have any, any piece of seeing that playoffs. But they're not far. They're right ahead of Miami by one game. And then, Colts, if they could jump the Colts and Denver, they're right there. They're right there. And I think that's doable. I still think that's doable. It's something that can be done as them overtaking those jumping 2 spots. I think it's possible. It definitely is. Broncos, Chiefs. All right. Obviously, those that watch the content, I'm a Chief fan. Y'all know this. For those who don't, hey, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. All right. What's up, Charlie Short? What's going on? Are you talking about the Bengals or the Dolphins that got a shot at making the wild card? Some things got to fall into place for both of those teams. I can admit that. They need some help to get into the playoffs. Dolphins just couldn't have no offense without Tua for those 4 games. They disappeared. Bengals, they do that. They shoot themselves in the foot every year. Those slow starts are catching up to them. They got to start coming off better in the first few weeks of the season. They can't continue year after year after year playing bad football in the month of September, and then slowly start getting better in October, and then November they're hot. They can't continue to do that. Too many good teams in the AFC. Too many good teams in the NFL. But yeah, Broncos and Chiefs. No. Oh, so Thursday game we went over that. Let's start with the game in Germany. I think it's so funny that now all of a sudden the Panthers are on a winning streak. And who's their quarterback? Oh, it's Bryce Young. So you can look at this 2 ways. You can look at it as when he got benched, they made the right move. He get to learn the offense, and he's performing it better. You can look at it that way. Or you can look at it another way and say, hey, maybe you should have stuck with him to begin with, go through the growing pains, because he is learning his 3rd offense in a year and a half. Maybe you should be patient. Giving him the quick cook at 2 weeks was crazy. You can look at that a multitude of ways. Just saying. But the Giants, yeah. Brian Daboll will not be back. I'm predicting that. And I think it's no earth shaking news if you were to say that Daniel Jones won't be back. I don't think that's earth shattering. He's bad. He's so bad that they're contemplating putting Drew Lock in. Ponder on that shit. Yes, Drew Lock. The guy that's on now is third NFL team in a matter of 4 or 5 years. Yeah, the Giants are bad. Bet you should have kept Saquon. Probably could have helped you out. Just saying. Yeah, this even when you saw the Giants in the chance to win the game, the man Daniel Jones still find a way to mess it up. That's just bad. It's bad football. Bad football from him, and it's going to cost Dabo his job. If I don't know if he gets another chance, but if he does get another chance, I can definitely say it won't be with Daniel Jones. That I can bank on it. All right. Let's get to those Sundays games. Chiefs Broncos. Look, like I said, Chiefs fan. I am. Champy, what's up? Cardinals equals most talented offensive team in the NFL. Yeah. I can leave that up to for debate. But what I will say is, they've played a lot better on offense than I thought they would. Kyler Murray has played a lot better than I thought he would. James Conner, still, he's not the fastest running back, but he's still getting it done. I still think you need to implement Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot more. I don't say force feed him, but you still got to draw up some plays, even if it doesn't work. Just get him in the flow, get him in the rhythm. He's a one of one type of talent. He's a bad dude. So I would say try to draw up more plays for him. McBride, the tight end, man, I was so pissed I wasn't able to draft him in fantasy. McBride, he was killing it last year. He's killing it again this year. Yeah, McBride, look out for him to start being one of those tight ends that people are going to fight for to go get for him in fantasy for the next couple of years. He's on a good trajectory. I like where he's going. Yeah, man. I like I said, I'll leave that up for debate, but they are playing some good football. And what they did to the Jets, we'll talk about it later. Anyway. Hey, man, Chiefs find a way to get it done. That's what great teams do. I know what a lot of people are going to say, oh, they're 9-0. They're not that good of a 9-0 team, but they're 9-0. They find every way to win, whether it's special teams, defense, in the offense every now, sporadically they've shown that they still can be offense, but they still got some work to do. They keep finding ways to win, and you can't deny that. That's what great teams do. And now I've been a Chiefs fan all my life, and now just hearing the outside world talk about the Chiefs and they can't stand them and they don't like them and this and that. Hey, man, the best way to stop it is to beat them. And so far, they haven't lost since Christmas Day last year. We're almost coming up on the calendar year since the last time they lost. That counts for something. Broncos, man, that's a tough loss. Block kick as the time expires. Man, that's a bad way to lose. Man, is it. Game of the day, Steelers, Commanders. Man, what a game that was. I was fortunate to see the pretty much the last quarter of it as they switched over after the Chiefs game. It amazes me how Sean Payton thought he couldn't do nothing with Russell Wilson. But yet Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Tomlin, a real coach, find something to do with Russell Wilson. Hey, When was Russell Wilson so successful at the peak of his career? Oh, that's right. Running game and defense. That's what Pittsburgh does well. It was a perfect fit for marriage. And it's working. It's working. And for anybody that questioned whether it was the right decision to pull Justin Fields for Russell Wilson, and look what they're doing. They haven't lost with Russell Wilson as a starter. And guess who's happy about it? George Pickens. Because he's getting the football. He's getting the passes that he's been longing for. You know, those deep passes. And they have a great connection. Oh, and Mike Williams. Oh, imagine that. The Jets didn't want him. They trade him. Wow. Instant help. He had one catch. It was a touchdown. Matter of fact, it was the go-ahead touchdown. So y'all couldn't figure out nothing to do with him, Jets. Looks like he's fitting just fine in Pittsburgh after one game. And Preston Smith, they get him at the trade deadline too. Hey, I love what the Steelers had did. Getting Preston Smith and Mike Williams at the trade deadline. That was genius. See, good teams they just don't stay pat. Just because you're winning don't mean you can't improve. Good teams still improve. Look at the Chiefs. Bring in Kareem Hunt. He's been doing great for them. He's kind of slowed down lately, but still, he's helped that running game. Bring in D-Hop. Steelers bring in Mike Williams. Bring in Preston Smith, and they both had an impact on that game yesterday. Steelers are one of those teams you look out for down the stretch if they keep playing like this for sure. Commanders, tough loss. It is. 2 tough losses to 2 AFC North teams. It's not affecting their standings in the East, but still, if you were to make it, hypothetically to the Super Bowl, better hope an AFC North team ain't there because they struggle with them. They can't beat them. At least the Ravens and the Steelers so far. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Crazy to think that the Commanders are doing so well so early with a rookie quarterback, with Kingsbury as OC, with Dan Quinn at the head coaching position. And they're doing their thing, playing good football. Vikings Jags, man, what a board fest that was. This was what I was worried about with Sam Darnold. Through 3 interceptions. And he got to get these interceptions under control. Almost blew a game against a bad Jaguars team, pretty much. 12-7. That's an ugly score. Ooh. But give the Vikings credit. They came out and won. Falcons Saints. Man, just when I was ready to go all in on the Falcons, they lose to a team that just fired their coach. I don't know what it was. Sometimes, after coaches get fired, sometimes you still play bad football, or in most cases, you played inspired football. I think they played inspired football, got the job done. They definitely look better. Look at Marquez Valdez-Scantling making some catches. Couldn't catch a cold in Kansas City, but all of a sudden he gets with Derek Carr and the Saints, and this man's turned into the number 1 wide receiver by default, all the injuries they had, but still. He was catching the ball yesterday. That was crazy. 49ers, Buccaneers. Buccaneers are sliding. I know they got injuries, but the Buccaneers are starting to slide. They got to get a hold on these losses because you don't want to fall too far down in the standings of not just your division, but of the NFC in general. You're 2 games back of the Falcons, and they've already swept you. So you got to fight. Definitely got to fight for that wild card spot, which right now, it's a lot of teams ahead of you. Yeah. You're 4-6, and then you got to You got to overtake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to overtake 6 teams, pretty much, to get back in the standings. So they got to get a hold of that real quick. But no, the 49ers get CMC back. He helps in the passing game. Didn't do too much damage on the ground, but hey, it helps when you start getting your studs back. So they win a close one. Bills and Colts. Hey, Bills got them a nice win. I know the Colts aren't the most sexiest team in the world right now, but hey, they're not far out from a wild card spot. They're one game. They're one game back. They're right behind the Broncos at the 7th seed. So, they got to figure some things out too. They got to figure out their quarterback situation. They're probably going to stick with Joe Flacco, whether you agree with it or not. Fact of the matter is, they got to figure out what if Anthony Richardson is going to be their future or not. They got to figure it out. I know the sample size is not big on him to make that call, but you got to figure it out. Patriots and Bears. I told you about them Bears. It was looking good about a few weeks ago. Yeah, they were 4-2. They losing to teams like the Patriots. That's who they're losing to. They're losing to the Patriots. They lost to the Cardinals. Hail Mary away from winning against the Commanders. When you start finding ways to lose, you're heading the wrong way. You're dealing with the same thing that Justin Fields was dealing with. Lack of protection. Taylor Williams, he's getting no protection. That man's getting hit. He's getting sacked a lot lately. It's not good. It's not good at all. Titans, Chargers. Hey, Chargers get another win. They're looking good. They're looking good. Now at 6-3, but I'm still being buyers beware on the Chargers, I should say. I'm still buyers beware on them. Because you got to be somebody worth the significance. I'm sorry. I just got to see you beat somebody that, matters. I'm just saying. Because look, Raiders, Panthers, Broncos, Saints at the time were still a bad team. Browns, bad team. Titans, bad teams. I guess the only significant win that if you can say so, because they're a playoff team right now, is the Broncos. That's about as I guess significant win as they got right now. Still buyers beware. Be lurid. Titans, come on. Titans are just bad. Titans are bad. Titans are a bad football team. Point blank period. That defense is still trying to play good football, but they're on the field too much. They get worn down. And the offense is not helping them. They not. Shout out my man Virgil. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, happy Veterans Day, my brother. Cowboys and Eagles. Whoo. He's getting worse for them Cowboys, man. Week by week, it's getting just even uglier and uglier. Now, Dak probably won't be back for the rest of the season. It wouldn't matter anyway. This season's a wash. CeeDee Lamb's been frustrated. Defense has been bad. Cowboys are cooked this year. They should start planning on what they want to do in the offseason. Who needs to go? Who needs to stay? I know who won't be staying. It won't be Mike McCarthy. Hey, they got to do something. They got to do something because this season's a wash. It's a done deal. If they want to tank for the number 1 pick, by all means, they'll definitely be taking it, picking in top 10 in the draft. And the more that they lose, they'll get closer to that first. It'll be a race. Well, I don't know. The Giants won't be winning too much more, so they won't beat out the Giants as the number 1 overall seed for in the NFL draft. But they'll be close. They'll be picking up. They'll be picking relatively high. Yeah, they'll be picking high. Eagles, hey, beat the bad teams. Supposed to work out your kinks and beat the bad teams. But I gotta say this: I love Jalen Hurts. I'm a fan of him. He got to stop with the turnovers. Because it's one thing to do that against the Cowboys, which you know they're not going to turn those turnovers into points, but you can't do that against these other teams. Can't do that against Detroit. I'm curious to see how they match up against the Commanders. They got 2 games with them, but Jalen Hurts got to get these turnovers. You got to get them under control. Jets, Cardinals. I'm laughing at the Jets. They're such a piss poor representation of a football team. Oh my goodness. You keep adding players. You finally get Hassan Reddick again. You get Devontae Adams. Fire your coach. Ain't much change. They're still a bad team. They're a bad team. All right. But also give credit to the Cardinals. They took advantage of a bad team and they beat them up. So hats off to them again. Lions and Texans, man, what a ugly game that was. It wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. But I will give the Lions credit in this. The Lions that I grew up on and that we saw in the past before this year and last year, they would have found a way to have lost that game with your quarterback throwing 5 interceptions. They would have found a way to lose that more times than not. But this is a different Lions team. Not only did they overcome the 5 turnovers or the 5 interceptions threw by their quarterback, they got a real ugly win. They did. But there's more to say about this more than the Lions. I'm looking at the Texans. I mean, literally 19 unanswered. Got all your points in the first half and didn't do nothing in that second half. Didn't score. And supposedly the Texans are supposed to be one of the better teams in the NFL. But I'm also looking at some of the reasons why they are struggling the way they are is because I'm also looking at, C.J. Stroud not getting the proper protection that he once was. And the coordinators they're attacking them. They're like, yo, that offensive line ain't that great. Let's go get at them. And these D coordinators are getting after C.J. Stroud. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to recreate his rookie season magic and turn into a sophomore. He's starting to slump. And because of that, it's because he's lack of protection and he's losing. He's losing wide receivers too. Lost Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins might return maybe next week, this upcoming week in week 11 or week 12. Don't know. Don't know when they're going to get Nico Collins. As you can tell how they look different without him, which is crazy. Then, of course, that's just what it is. Week 10, man. Just a quick recap. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Crazy. We're getting down to that nitty-gritty, man. Getting down to that nitty-gritty where the good teams start separating themselves, start getting ready for the playoff push because end of December be here real quick, right around that corner. About to be week 11. There's only 7 more weeks after that. So there's going to be some jockeying for sure. It's gonna be some jockeying. But the Texans got to figure some things out. They were supposed to be one of the better teams, and as of right now, they're slowly slumping, in my opinion, for sure. They're headed in the wrong direction. But we'll see. Got to see. Having a chance to look at the schedule, but they better figure it out. Hey man, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in with your boy. Don't forget, look at the bottom of your screen. Like, share, subscribe. It's all the I.O.W Sports Network social media platforms. Spread the word what we got going on. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. And of course, you want to chop it up with me personally, boom, right there. Go to Twitter, KC Wildcard Mar. I'm there. I'm posting a lot of content. Yeah, so y'all tap in with me, man. Y'all tap in with me. But other than that, I'll be back tomorrow night. I know what it is. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hey, man. I'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.
Yeah. Silent Hill, TD, yes, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card Mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card Mar. We about to